Hi, welcome back to Storytime with Sarah. I'm so excited that you are all here today. Today we're going to read Franklin's Class Trip by Paulette Bourgeois and Brenda Clark. So you can see the cover. There are a whole lot of Franklin books. There's a whole bunch of them. But today we're just going to read the class trip one since nobody gets to be in school right now. I thought this might be something fun for anybody who's missing school, because I know that my little princess is missing school and all of her friends. So we're just going to read about a class trip. Yay. Okay, are you ready? Let's get started. Franklin could count by twos and tie his shoes. He had gone with his class to the bakery, the fire station, and the pet store. Today, Franklin's class was going to the museum. Franklin was so excited that he could hardly eat any of his breakfast. The museum had lots of steps and huge doors. "Wow, it's big," said Franklin. "It has to be," said Beaver. "There are real dinosaurs inside." Beaver had been to the museum before. She knew everything about it. "Big dinosaurs," she emphasized. "So big they ate trees for breakfast." Franklin was afraid to ask what dinosaurs ate for lunch. Franklin sat down on the steps. "What's wrong?" said Snail. "Beaver says there are real dinosaurs in the museum." Snail looked alarmed. "That sounds scary," Franklin nodded. In the museum lobby, Mr. Owl went over the rules. "No shouting, no running, and stay with the group." "Mr. Owl," said Beaver, "one more thing. Watch out for dinosaurs." Moose and Bear laughed. Franklin didn't. He moved a little closer to Mr. Owl. He looks a little scared, doesn't he? Their first stop was the Bat Cave. It was dark inside. Squeaks and squawks filled the air. "What's that?" said Franklin. Beaver giggled. "That's the sound bats make to find their way around." Franklin was relieved. He was very relieved it was bats and not dinosaurs. The class visited the rainforest next. Franklin climbed high into a tree house. He could see the tops of all the trees. "Can you spot any dinosaurs?" asked Snail. Franklin shook his head and climbed down quickly. "Nope." There was so much to do in the museum that Franklin almost forgot all about the dinosaurs. In the medieval room, Franklin had fun dressing up like a knight. Franklin even got to dig in a sandy pit. He was the first one to find an arrowhead. It was just like being a real archaeologist. Do you know what an archaeologist is? Archaeologist digs for things like dinosaur bones and old arrowheads and all kinds of things that are from our long, long time ago past. The best part is still to come, said Beaver, as they sat down in the cafeteria. Yes, agreed Bear. Lunch! Mr. Owl smiled. I think Beaver means the dinosaur exhibit. Franklin gulped. I'm too tired to see more. I'll just stay here for a while, he muttered. Me too, said Snail. You'll forget about being tired when you see the dinosaurs, says Mr. Owl. Eat up and let's go. I think Mr. Snail and Mr. Franklin are scared about the dinosaurs because Beaver made them think they were real. Let's find out. Reluctantly, Franklin and Snail followed giant footprints down a long leafy corridor. There was a loud roar. The floor shook, and so did Franklin. Ah! Screamed Franklin when he turned the corner. He was looking right into the bony mouth of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's a big Tyrannosaurus Rex. Except I don't think he's real. Franklin blinked. They're bones. Real dinosaur bones. But the dinosaurs aren't alive. Alive, giggled Beaver. Of course not. There hasn't been a live dinosaur for millions of years. You make good jokes, Franklin. You sure do, whispered Snail. Look at Franklin. He was scared for nothing. I think I might have been a little scared too. As they were leaving, Franklin and his friends walked past the Egyptian exhibit. Next time, said Beaver, you should visit the tomb. There's a mummy inside. Is it real? Asked Franklin. Yes, and scary, said Beaver. But Franklin wasn't scared. He had a mummy at home. I think he was talking about his mommy. And he could hardly wait to tell his mummy all about his adventures at the museum. The end. I think we have time for one more book, so we're going to read one more story. This one is called Be Brave, Little Penguin. And this is another Scholastic book, and it's by Giles Andreae. Okay, be brave, little penguin. In the cold Antarctic sunshine, where the icy ocean ends, lived a family of penguins with all their penguin friends. There were fat ones, there were thin ones, there were penguins short and tall. But little penguin Pip Pip was the smallest one of all. while the other penguins were swimming out wild and free, little Pip-Pip played alone, too frightened of the sea. Names like Scaredy Pip-Pip echoed in his ears. He was sad and he was lonely, but he couldn't show his tears. "What's the matter, Pip-Pip?" said his daddy one fine day. "You can't be scared of water. What a silly thing to say." I don't think Pip-Pip was very scared of water. "Be gentle," said his mommy, taking Pip-Pip by the hand. "We all have certain fears that might be hard to understand. Come on, little Pip-Pip, dip your toes in here. Just so. The water's calm and still now. You can do it nice and slow." "But what if the water's freezing? Mommy, what if I get in and it's just too dark and deep for me? And what if I can't swim? And what if there are monsters who smell me from their den and they slither up and eat me and I'm never seen again?" "I understand, little one," said his mommy with a kiss. "But Pip-Pip, what if now you try to think of it like this? What if in that water there are friends for you to meet? And what if there is light and warmth and full of treats to eat?" "Take my hand, little one. Don't worry, I'm right here. Please trust me, little Pip-Pip. Be brave and never fear." His mama's got his back. Slowly, Pip-Pip made his way towards the water's edge. He stared down at the ocean from the slippery, icy edge. Then he looked back at his mommy, and his small heart thumped. He closed his eyes, he held his breath, and little Pip-Pip, what do you think he did? Jumped! Splash! He splashed in the water, jumped in. His mommy made it so he wouldn't be afraid. For a little while, his mommy waited. Then she cried out, "Something's wrong! Pip-Pip, please, where are you? You've been under way too long." So she leaped into the ocean, diving deep into the blue. Then suddenly came from nowhere, came a little voice she knew. "Mommy, Mommy, over here! Hey, Mommy, look at me! I'm swimming, Mommy, swimming! Look, I'm swimming! Can you see?" She turned and spinning circles through the water bright and clean, swam Pip-Pip with the biggest smile the world has ever seen. And as she watched her little one right there before her eyes, he burst up through the surface and he soared into the skies. Woohoo! Cried little Pip-Pip. Look, Mommy, I can fly. It's really not that tricky. You should try it, Mommy, try. Oh, Pip-Pip, laughed his mommy as she watched him with a grin. I don't know about flying, but oh my, you have learned how to swim. Then his friends all gathered round as Pip-Pip landed with a bump and said, sometimes all you have to do is just be brave. And jump. That's very true. Sometimes all you have to do is be brave and jump. That's the end of that story. So we're going to end today. I want everybody to be safe and be happy. And don't forget to use your brains and read some books and help your mommy and daddy around the house since we don't have any school right now. Make sure that any school you do have, you're doing it and getting your work done like you're supposed to. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye.